What it is, guys, it's your boy Ansel from Survivalizing, and today we have the Club World Cup 2025. And I know what y'all thinking. Y'all gonna be thinking, wasn't this like tournament ended 2 weeks ago? Yes, it did. But that's exactly why I'm doing it now. I want to give a few weeks for me to process the tournament, to process it, to see what went good, what went bad, what can FIFA fix, what can they do. So we're going to talk about that. And then also, I remember, if y'all remember that episode that I did a few months back in the Champions League when Real Madrid lost to Arsenal knockout stage. I said we had some problems, some glaring problems. And I want to go back to it, right? Talk about when Xavi came in. Did he fix some things? Did he not fix those things? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Real Madrid's performance in the Club World Cup. But first, I want to start off with the Club World Cup itself, right? And I want to give it, in general, right? I want to give the tournament out of 10. I want to give it a 7 out of 10, in my opinion. And let's start off with the good, and then the bad, and then we could fix it. But the good first, right? Because everything wants to start off with positivity. Positivity. I want to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay, I think I already said that, but I want to give it a 7 out of 10 again, just to reinforce y'all. The group stage was okay, in my opinion. Like most tournaments, right? The group stage, it could be hit or miss. If there's a good groups, like if there's good teams and good groups, the group stage will be good, and sometimes it can be boring, right? It depends, right? But most of the time, the group stage is whatever, hit or miss. But it starts to heat up in the round of 16. We all know this. Round of 16 is when things start to heat up, and especially with Al Hilal. In the round of 16 with Al Hilal versus City. And then that game went to like 4-3, I think, and then went into extra time. That was a crazy game. Bayern versus Flamengo in the round of 16. Then it got more interesting in the quarterfinals of Bayern versus PSG. And then when PSG obviously destroyed us in the semis, which was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking, guys. Heartbreaking for me. I know for the Real Madrid haters, it was loving it, but for us, heartbreaking. And then surprise ending, right? Surprise ending that I don't even think some Chelsea supporters saw. Maybe some did. Some were like, well, we're routed. But most football people watching were thinking, oh, no, PSG is going to beat Chelsea. And Chelsea beat them. Surprising ending, which is good for the game. Good for football. So we don't want to predict everything, bro. It's like the whole point of this sport. So it was good. Hats off to Chelsea. So again, overall, right, it was good football. Serious football. Entertaining football. Which is the most important. And when most pundits, most fans thought it was just going to be, even me, I thought it was going to be a glorified preseason tournament. That's basically what it was. It was like the Champions Cup, but just put on a higher pedestal. But it was actually really good. Like, it was good football, right? So FIFA scored on that. A lot of star players from all around the clubs, all around the world clubs, so they were participated and they were playing well. They were taking it seriously. So this is a win. This is a win for FIFA, it's a win for the fans, because I actually enjoyed the football. So it was actually a win in that aspect. But there was also bad. And one of those bad was the weather and the stadiums. And look, it was mostly European teams complaining. So it wasn't all the teams, it was South American teams, it was the Asian teams. They weren't really complaining. It was mostly European teams, but the teams are still complaining about the heat and the humidity. Which I understand, bro. Like, it gets 100 degrees here in America, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 37 degrees Celsius. So even if you're used to the heat over here, it's still hot. It's still a pain to play football under the scorching sun. So I don't even blame the players. Like, we could walk outside right now in 100 degrees, and you're already tired. Now imagine playing football. No, like it's a whole different level of a game. So I understand. I understand the players in that perspective, right? But they just kept complaining. Like, at this point, bro, you already know it's gonna be hot. So just, you already know it's gonna be hot. So you gotta mentally prepare yourself to go out there and play and drink enough water and get your water break. So it just got annoying as the tournament continues, because we know it's hot. You don't gotta keep telling us, bro. Like, we know it's hot, but might as well just play. Just keep going and play. And one of the other things, I mean, this is my opinion personally, why I think tournament was bad, was just added playing time to a busy schedule. These teams already some teams already have preseason going on, and then Real Madrid's preseason is about to start in a few weeks. So it's like they got no rest. And though I think the football was good, like I'm saying, I'm still against the tournament, bro. I'm still against it. I know it's every 4 years, so it's not going to be every year, but I just don't think it's good for the game. Like, we don't need the tournament, in my opinion. Like, we just don't need that. And I'd rather, for me, right, as a football fan, genuine football fan who loves to watch football, we don't need to watch football every summer. Okay, I'd rather not watch quality football in the summer and just let the players get their rest, right? So when the season comes, they're at their best. They display their best. They're the most fit. They could play the whole season, and I think it would just be better for the game if the players get their rest to get what they need to do. Like, that's just me, in my opinion, right? I know a lot of people want to see soccer every day and all the time, and I get that. But for me, I'd rather see just great quality soccer all around and let their players get the rest. I mean, like, for a few months, actually. I want to see full quality of the players in short spans rather than just half decent soccer the whole year. That's my opinion. I'd rather want to see that because I think quality is what makes the game, not just people out there playing. Like, if it was just that, we would have the semi-pros play. But see, it's not the same. It's not the same quality. So in my opinion, I'd rather do that, right? I think it would just be better for the players and all around. But we know FIFA don't care about them. They care about making their money. And that's all they care about. So I'd still scratch the tournament, right? And then also I think that made it bad. My tournament, like, not hard to watch, but for some people who also weren't paying attention to it because they just got that stamp of approval, was the pundits. The pundits made it hard because they were so down on the tournament. Like, I didn't like the tournament either, right? But complaining about it, like the players complaining about it every day, talking about this tournament shouldn't be here. It's just a money grab every day. Like, bro, like, it's going to turn off everybody. It just didn't bring the same pizzazz, after you watch a game, especially remember that Bayern PSG game. And you want to go watch the analysis of this game, right? It's a good game. And they still, even with a good game, they still went with, but it's the Club World Cup, it was a good game, but this tournament wasn't like, well, it's just like, bro, are you happy or not happy that you want to see good games? Because you said this was going to be a preseason glorifier and it was just going to be half decent games. But then when it's a good game, now you're all here saying like, wait, it was just because, like, what do you want? And you can't complain about everything, bro. So I didn't want it, but they had a good game. So I'm going to give them the respect. They got their game. And I think the pundits, they just went, like, I get it's your job, right? It's your job to watch these games, so might as well enjoy watching them. I don't know. I digress. Let's get on to the fixes, right? What I think FIFA could do to fix the problem for the World Cup next year and future U.S. summer tournaments, all right? One of them, I think for sure, is to just have later kickoff times. Okay, I know FIFA doesn't like to do it because of the European crowd, the European audience. They want them to always have their soccer, their football at the times that they want to watch it, but let them suffer for a bit for the players. Let the audience, the European audience, suffer a bit. They want to know. Let them know what it's like for us Americans and for other continents like Asia and all of them, how they have to either, like us, wake up really early to watch these games or stay up to watch these games. They gotta suffer for one time in their lives when it comes to watching a sport that they love. If they love it so much, you'll sacrifice to watch the games for the quality of football, right? I think you would. So later kickoff time, you're still gonna have the same audience, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's the U.S. audience. A lot of people are still gonna watch the game, and more Americans might watch the game because it's actually later at night. So they're like, oh, I could actually sit down and watch the game because I'm not doing anything. Now we have to sleep or have to wake up early to watch it. Like, bro, most Americans, bro. So I think it would work out like that. Let the European crowd suffer, or the audience, for a bit for this tournament. Okay, let's see what it's like for the most American fans or other continent fans who actually have to sacrifice or plan to watch games. So for the one time, and adding on to that, right, having later kickoff times for their earlier kickoff times, what they can do is play in a dome. play in close stadiums, right? So the later kickoff times would be obviously later in open-end stadiums, and then the earlier ones would be in domes, obviously closed stadiums like Atlanta, Dallas, all those cities who have those type of stadiums, right? And I think it would work out pretty well. That's a pretty simple fix, but let's see if they do it or not. Okay, let's see if they do that or not for the next year's World Cup and for future years. Another thing off the field, well, I mean, it kind of is on the field, but the format, I would say, for the whole tournament, though, I would change the format of the tournament and have less teams. Because to be honest with you, bro, we don't need Casablanca or Al Ain in these tournaments. No offense, right? No offense, but we don't need these teams. Okay, we can have. I'll change it to 16 teams, or around that number to make it work or whatever. But I would have 16 teams, and to qualify, you had to be the two recent champs from each confederation, right? So if the tournament was in 2026, or well, actually the next tournament would be 2029. So you could either have the 2028, 2027 confederation champion, or if you want to go earlier, 2029, 2080. But you know what I mean, right? The two recent champions from that confederation, which is 6, right? Which is 6. There's 6 confederations, so that would make the 12 teams of the 16, and then the last 4 teams, to make it interesting, I think could be voted by the fans, right? To have that good interaction with the fans. I think it would make the tournament more appealing to the fans, right? Maybe some pundits would say, "Oh, see, that's Mickey Mouse stuff," because now you're gonna have the fans vote instead of teams qualifying. Well, how many fans were complaining, Barca, or that their team wasn't on there? Team wasn't on the tournament. So how am I gonna watch this? This is not even legit because Barca, Liverpool, these teams are not here. Well, have the fans vote on it, and then maybe they would surprise us. They wouldn't be all European teams. It could be some teams from South America. Or I know a lot of America fans who would vote for their team to be in there, and that would have been pretty interesting. So maybe I think that could be an interchangeable thing, and it could work. It could work, and then obviously moving on from that, having the 16 tournament, 16 team tournament format, it would go for 4 teams in 4 groups. So 4-4-4, obviously, and then they play the 3 matches. The top 2 from each group advances, giving us 8 teams for the quarterfinals, and then you go to the semis, and you go to the final, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then boom, tournament is done. So that's how I would fix it. Let me know how you guys would fix it. If you think my idea is horrible, I don't think it is horrible. But if you think it is, comment how you. If you think it's bad, comment how you would fix it. Don't just say it's bad. No, how would you fix it? Or if you agree with me, all right, just let me know in the comments, whatever. And we'll see, man. We'll see what FIFA does to change anything, or if they don't. Big question. But now switching on to Real Madrid, my team in the Club World Cup. And it started off rocky with a draw versus Al Hilal, and then it got better with wins versus Pachuca and Salzburg, and then we had okay wins versus Juventus and Dortmund in the quarterfinals, and then obviously ended horrendously versus PSG. We got thrashed in the semis. But overall, is this being Xavi's first real with the team stint with the team? This is legit. This isn't no Copa del Rey. This isn't no preseason. He got his first stint as manager, his first games or in a knockout stage tournament, which was actually pressured by Florentino Perez, Papa Perez, to win. So it wasn't just we're participating. No, we wanted to win this. So, and he did a pretty good job considering what we had, considering this is a new team with new additions. Bro, it wasn't that bad. Now, if you take away the PSG thrashing, right, which is that one game we lost. That was only the one game we lost. The rest of the games won, and then we drew one versus Al Hilal. But the rest of the one we won. So if you think about it, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I'm not making excuses. I know this is Real Madrid, and Real Madrid, we got to win everything, but that's at this point, bro, that's just delusion. Like, we're not going to win every tournament known to man. And just because we don't win, it doesn't mean that we're a failure. Like, bro, that's just delusion at this point. Yes, we have expectations for us, but we're not going to win everything every year because this is football. This is how it works. Welcome to the real world. So, me looking at it from a unbiased perspective, an objective perspective. He did okay. And he found some solutions and problems with those solutions. So we're gonna see what he did. I'm gonna break it down, and let's start first, right? Let's first start if he fixed any solutions to the problems that I thought we had before the Club World Cup. So the first problem that I was thinking when I made the idea back in the Champions League, I was saying our first problem we got to fix right now is our defense because they are horrible. They get passed by easily. Like it's very inconsistent. The back line is inconsistent with injuries. Sometimes we have this guy, we have that guy, and it just never jailed. So, right, we need a new defense. Our new signing, Dean Howson, he's been a godsend. Bro. Great signing. Xavi put him in ASAP, put him in already. He adapted seamlessly, especially with the Xavi's back three that he plays. He plays left center back, and he's very comfortable on the ball, progressing the ball, and obviously defensively sound. So, couldn't be more happy. He did make one mistake versus Dortmund, right? Which is when he pulled Guirassi's shirt to get the penalty when we're up 3-1, few minutes left. That was a brain fart. But he is young. I think he's 21, 22. So, bro, he just needs more experience. Okay, it's all good. But he showed already he's legit and he could play for the team. So, I'm in. I'm all in. He's already shown how important he is because versus PSG when we didn't have him, it looked like a shit show. So, he's already showing how important he is, and I like it. I like it that he's already showed up. But with Xavi's back three, right? Trent and Fran Garcia, they can play as wing backs rather than fullbacks, which is great because they are better going forward. Trent obviously gets to the midfield and does his crosses, and then Fran being the speedster, he can just get in front of the defense instead of being a liability in the back line. No offense, Fran, but it's true. And then, with that happening, Howson and Rudy, they cover them respectively. They respect on the defensive part. So I think Xavi has pretty much fixed it. I would say he's pretty much fixed it, like almost there to fixing it completely, the defense, especially with the Alvaro Carrera signing. So we got another left back. And I think to make it perfection, we get another center back signing. Another one for insurance. And it's good. They just need to gel, stay consistent, and I think it's all good. So another center back signing, and it's perfect, in my opinion. But let's see what Real Madrid does in the business. A second problem I think we had was Ancelotti's tactics. And obviously, we have a new coach, so different tactics. Xavi has his own tactics, as we know. And he's still figuring things out right now. He tried different formations in this Club World Cup, but with the same principle with the back three. No matter which formation it was, we always had a back three, and he's staying with that, obviously, with the advantages that it brings in the build-up play and everything about that. So, it's good. Which obviously, like I was saying, with Trent and Fran as the wing backs, helping them give the width. So then Valverde can be everywhere, and Jude and Vini, and in this case, Garcia, Gonzalo, causing havoc in the front. But our pressing system right now is what really lacks. And I'm sure he's getting better, or I'm sure he's working on this right now, which we're going to talk about later, but it needs some fixing. Third problem that we had is that we had no deep lying playmaker like Cruz. Now, I remember my homie, Sarah Sergi, he was saying, we need another Cruz, right? Like, but who is Cruz? Another Cruz doesn't exist. There's only one. There's only one Cruz, right? But can we put a guy in a similar role? Can we find him? I think we already found him. I think we already had him. And that's the problem, in my opinion, bro. It's Arda Güler. Xavi has put him in that position, in that role, and he looks good. He looks good. Now, obviously, he has the skills, he has the ability to do it. So I'm with this. I'm with this new position role. I just think he needs to iron out some stuff and become more aware defensively, because sometimes he'd be lacking. But he just needs to work on that, right? It just comes with the time, comes with playing. But I think we found the guy to have that role, which leads me back to my second problem of Ancelotti's tactics. Like, I have no idea why he didn't play Guler, bro, when he knows we needed someone like Cruz or someone to fill in that role. And he on the bench most of the time, and then the time that he did play, he was a winger. So I have no idea what in that relationship, what would happen in there, or if he just doesn't like young players. Ancelotti doesn't like young players. I don't know. But it looks like we kind of had him the whole time, the whole last year trying to figure out we need someone like Cruz, and the guy's on the bench. So I don't know what happened there with him and Ancelotti, but that was bad from Ancelotti's part. That was bad. But I think we found him. I don't think we need to buy another player. Just need to develop him. So I hope he finds a role and he stays comfortable in it and he develops more. So come on, Guler. Come on. I'm believing you, brother. Let's get it done. But overall, right, I think Xabi has fixed or found solutions to the three main problems that I believe we had, right? But I also believe that we have two, maybe new or remain broken, right? Which is the front line and the pressing system that we have, he has, or that we've always had. The front line, they're still not meshing with each other, which is not good, and it doesn't help with Kylian Mbappe's, what's it called, the stomach virus. Yeah, I think it's called the gastroenteritis that he had during the tournament. That didn't help at all. And then Gonzalo. I mean, it's a good thing, but Gonzalo Garcia's emerging from that, and then Rodrigo is completely left out of the squad. Like, he has not played since the Al Hilal game, not even as a sub, I believe. So I think he's completely out, and we're probably going to sell him in the summer. We haven't sold him yet, as Xavier's recording, but we're either going to sell him or he's just going to roll on the bench. Like, where it looks like it's going to happen. I don't know, but I think most likely we're going to sell him. I don't know how Xabi's going to mesh this front line, because with Jude being out, he's going to be out for a few months because he got a shoulder surgery. But one of them is going to have to sacrifice positions and runs. And the question is, who's going to do it? It's going to be Kylian. It's going to be Vinny. Who's going to do it? And we'll see, because one of them got to do it. And I don't know who's going to be, or I don't know who he's going to force to be. I don't know. Someone's going to be it. So it can work. And I'm talking about not pressing. I'm talking about going on the offensive end. Like, someone has to do the dirty work. And who's going to do it? We'll see. But the pressing system, not good. It's uncoordinated. Everybody puts the blame on Vinicius and Mbappe. And don't get me wrong, they aren't the most willing pressers in the world on the team. So, it's not going to work. But it doesn't help that when they do decide to press, when they actually do want to do that, they have no players behind them. They have no backup, right? They have no backup to the press due to the newness and limited game time that they have with each other and the system the system that's in place, right? So they lack the understanding and the connectivity to press as a team simultaneously at different times. So I think Xabi, he's going to look at this during the break period right now that's currently happening right now before the preseason, and he's going to work on it. He's going to bring this, he's going to look at the tape, and he's going to put it on the preseason. I think this Club World Cup, I think it's going to help us out. I think it's going to help us out because we already had a schedule. We know what we have to work on instead of figuring it out, right? Instead of figuring out, like, or trying to figure out right now, instead of discovering it right now or during the preseason, we already know what we got to do. So I expect improvement and big things from Los Blancos because, bro, like, the team we have is solid, bro. We don't need to be getting thrashed by PSG 4-0. 2-0 is acceptable. 4-0, no. Okay, that's embarrassing. We got to figure out our stuff, and I think we will. Okay, I think we will. I hope we do. No, we do. We will. We will. So I'm telling y'all we will. Anyways, that's the end of the episode. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all on the next one. More episodes later to come. See y'all.